Situation abnormal, all unresolved. There's a war with a weak ceasefire. Negotiations where negotiators daily cannot agree on what's being negotiated or what's been resolved. Hovering in the air, the phrase tentative deal. The only word that appears apt is tentative, not deal. President Trump said today the crux of all this is the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz and Iranian guarantees not to pursue a nuclear weapon. Nothing about Israel's war with Iranian proxy Hezbollah in Lebanon or unfreezing Iranian assets. Okay, Iran said, yeah, the strait's a topic, but importantly, it denies its nuclear ambitions are even being discussed. Moreover, Iran says a binding ceasefire in Lebanon is essential and that it wants at least $12 billion from unfrozen assets. These, my friends, are not small details. They cut to the heart of anything that could convey a shred of credibility, let alone durability. What is credible in all this crosstalk? That's impossible to know. The president said today, and this happened, that he was meeting with his top advisors, preparing a final determination on next steps. We still don't have one. The meeting's over. So is it deal? War? More paper shuffling? As I said, situation abnormal, all unresolved. Joining us now, Nancy Cordes at the White House. Nancy, pick it up from there.
Major, I wish I had more concrete details for you. We do know that that meeting in the Situation Room has wrapped up, but what we don't know is whether President Trump has indeed accepted this latest offer that's on the table or whether he is still seeking some tweaks to it. Earlier today, the president made a long post on Truth Social kind of laying out what his red lines were. Some of them reflect the deal as we know it, others don't. And the Iranians responded in kind. They said, we're not having any conversations about our nuclear program right now. We're not having any conversations about what's going to happen with our enriched uranium. That's all coming later. That appeared to be, just a direct contradiction of what President Trump was saying he wants out of this deal. And so we're waiting for any kind of smoke signal from the president or the White House about what has been decided. Whether the president is simply going to take sort of an intermediate win here and agree to reopen the Strait of Hormuz and end the blockade and kind of seek more concrete nuclear concessions later, or whether he's going to do it, as he described a few days ago, kind of ignore a good deal because what he wants is a great deal. So a lot of unknowns on this Friday afternoon, Major.
And it seems to me, Nancy, and it has all week, that the central issue is the Strait of Hormuz. And if that's resolved to the satisfaction of both sides, a lot of other things will be left for another day.
Right. And that is really at the crux of the president's dilemma here. There's a lot of political pressure on him, economic pressure. In an election year, we just got some worrying economic data yesterday in the form of higher inflation. A lot of pressure on him to cut some kind of deal that would get the Strait of Hormuz reopened so that oil could flow again, bringing gas prices down. And as we know, higher gas prices lead to higher prices for everything else. On the other hand, there's a lot of political pressure on the president, including from his own party, to strike some kind of deal that addresses Iran's nuclear program. Otherwise, why did he wage this war in the first place? That was his biggest stated goal. And, that's why you hear him talking about the difference between a good plan and a great plan. A good plan might help ease some of the economic worries, but it wouldn't justify his decision to launch this costly operation in the first place. And that's why you've seen him waver back and forth as much as he has this week.
North Lawn of the White House, Nancy Cordes, as always, thank you.